everybody, hello and welcome. As always, I am Sean. This is In The Mix, episode 198 of our FC Isle of Man series. We've got another huge episode here in the final week, the final season with Football Manager 2020 and with the FC Isle of Man team. We've got a really big FA Cup FA Cup semi-final. The final will hopefully be tomorrow if we get through. We've got a huge game in the Premier Division as well to hopefully continue a good run and continue our tiny lead at the top of the table. But before we get stuck into that, we've actually got something a little bit different. And that's because this box right here arrived today. I had to walk up to the post office and get it, and I thought, well, this is perfect. If it is what I think it is, it's going to be the perfect addition to the next two episodes, or the next couple episodes before the series finishes. So we're going to unbox it live to tape, live to recording, to whatever else. And you can see this fantastic looking logo on here, representative of the actual FC Isle of Man logo, different to the one that we've got up in the corner at the moment because this wasn't released when we started the series way back when. But as we open that up, you can see at the top there, Certificate of Authenticity, shirt number 20. So we have the 20th of 150 original shirts brought out for the first ever FC Isle of Man shirt, which is crazy. I can't imagine anybody's really jumped ahead of us there. I'd assume most of the first shirts are the people that are involved directly with the club, so we're not that far behind any of them. Put that one side. We've also got here an FC Isle of Man sticker, which I'm sure I'll get somewhere on some piece of content throughout the course of the next few weeks. And then here you can see this fantastic Hope and Glory kind of cover here, which we're going to unwrap. I'm just going to have to rip it. Sorry, Hope and Glory, if you're watching. There's no good way to get through crepe paper. But here it is, the inaugural FC Isle of Man shirt, the first ever one that they've worn. You guys are seeing it for the first time in the flesh at the same time that I'm seeing it for the first time. It feels fantastic. This is the Pro Fit kit. Now, what should also be on the back, which is nice and interesting, there's some cool details actually on it. We should talk through that first. I quite like the additional splash of yellow that they've got, which is similar to the Max flag for the Hope and Glory item there. They've got side sponsors here, Rex Motor Company, who I'm sure is popular on the Isle of Man itself on both sleeves. Manx Telecom, of course, the main partner for the upcoming season. I'm ruining the green screen behind me, but that's just the shadow that I'm casting. Logo looks fantastic. It's high quality. It's got that nice like double-sided meshing as well. I'm not sure if you can see it, so it's not going to scratch and scrape you if you're wearing it without an undershirt or anything like that. Absolutely no coverage on the other side. Over here on the reverse, they've got the Triskelion up the top there, just on the edge of the collar, which was our clue last year for people that were trying to pick our save to try and win a copy of Football Manager 2020. A few people got it based on that clue. And then on the back there, they've got the Raven, the nickname of the club, the Ravens themselves. And then down here at the very bottom, I quite like this textured piece going from black all the way down to the red. It's very different. And then right down the bottom here, and this is going to be tough for you guys to see. If I zoom in, is it going to... I don't think you're going to be able to see it with any clarity, but you can see the names there of all the original people. Now, give me 1 second. I'm just going to try and go through and find our name, because it should be in here somewhere. It's actually on there a couple of times. So, I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to see it with the way that this is going to focus, but just above my finger there, you can see Sean/In The Mixer. A bit of history to commemorate not just this save in the series, but the very first shirt for FC Isle of Man has the name of the channel on it, which I think is absolutely fantastic. I think we know what we'll be wearing for the next couple of episodes at least. Oh, that's how I get dressed every morning. It feels fantastic, I'm not going to lie. Go and get your own if you can. If you've got the means, if you want to be part of history and get the first club shirt for the Isle of Man, go and check out Hope and Glory or the FC Isle of Man website, which is down in the description below. Nothing left to do now though, but jump in the game and see what kind of games we've got coming up. So, currently sitting top of the Premier Division, 32 games played, 20 wins, 10 draws, 2 defeats, plus 46 goal difference and 70 points FC Isle of Man. 1 point behind us, but with 3 positive goal difference on our current record, Manchester City. They've also won 22 games, which is more than us. They've just drawn way fewer, but they have lost more. 7 defeats throughout the course of the season. The most recent one to Wolves, which has seen us go above them. Of course, the draw that we mustered in the last episode, which I ranted about heavily, I'm going to be more positive today, with Norwich, did drag them back in. We could have potentially been a few points further clear, which would have helped us quite a bit. But we have a good run home. We've got Wolves, which we're going to play in today's episode. We've got Fulham, who are down in 16th, Burnley, who are in 19th, Southampton, who are in 10th, Arsenal in 15th, and Watford in 9th place to close out the season. All winnable games, as far as I'm concerned. I think we can go through the rest of the season undefeated. That's the goal. That's the aim. because looking over at Manchester City's run, it's a little bit trickier, and I'm hopeful that they will also drop points. They are playing an FA Cup semi-final against Tottenham as well. There is potential we will play them in the FA Cup final if both sides make it through. They've got Southampton, they've got Arsenal, same as us. They've got Leeds, which is a trickier fixture than I think 14th represents. Fulham, Manchester United as the second last game, who are desperate to try and get back into the top 4 spots, and then Leicester in 11th spot away from home at the King Power Stadium, which can be a tricky fixture. They're also not in fantastic form. Yes, they lost to Wolves, but then also Inter Milan handed them 2 back-to-back defeats in the Champions League itself, so they're not in the best of form. Hopefully their morale's down a little bit, and Tottenham can get a good result, or Southampton can snag a point, or Arsenal, or whatever else. That's the hope. The likelihood is that they will be relentless and they'll win all their remaining games, and it's really down to us to win all of ours remaining as well. Before we get to those Premier Division games though, we do have the opportunity to get through to the English FA Cup final. We are out, of course, runners-up in the Carabao Cup to Chelsea. This is a little bit of a revenge mission. Previously in the FA Cup as well, we've been rotating our side quite a bit, playing a backup lineup. We're not going to do that today. We're going to go a little bit stronger. We're going to really try and go after it in this game, and we're going to hopefully get ourselves the first booking in a final for Friday's last game of the week, or last episode of the series in its entirety, episode 200. As far as the squad's concerned, we got through most of the Champions League ties without any real dramas. You can see here, Lucas Gabriel has a bit of a knock, so I don't think we're going to risk him. We've also got Temperini still out 9 days to 4 weeks. It remains to be seen if he'll make it back by the end of the season. But otherwise, it's pretty strong. Otherwise, I think most of the group is back over 90% conditioning, which is interesting. Cesse's not 100%. Curious now, maybe we need to make that adjustment, or maybe we put additional coverage on the bench for that position. So maybe Bruno Castro drops off and we go with Paul Harold on the bench, just in case Cisse doesn't quite make it through. But otherwise, it is a pretty strong lineup, and I think we can go after it and get at Chelsea. We're going to move from our positive structure, which of course served us well against Barcelona last time out, back to our attacking structure. We are playing at home. We want to go after it. We want to get a good result. And if we're going to beat them, we've had better success in recent games beating them like 5-2, as opposed to trying to hold on and win 2-1 or 1-0 or anything like that. So if we go after it and really try and score as many goals as possible, I think that's a better route to goal for us, or a route to a win for us, than trying to be too conservative and inviting too much pressure. I think we're also going to give Ruben Martinez a start. He was excellent getting that equalising goal against Barcelona in yesterday's episode, so we want to try and get him back out there as well. So recapping our lineup first, Mancini in goal, Esteban and the Pooch as the defensive partnership, Carlos Andre at left wing back, Furkan Yilmaz at right wing back, filling in for Lucas Gabriel with that knock. Henri Lanka midfield as the DLP, Santana plays again as the Messiah alongside him. His progression, I mentioned it in yesterday's episode, I think, he's gone to 5 stars. I don't know how, because he's barely played this year, but if he's at that level, let's try and get him back out there on the park and see if he can't continue performing at a very high level. Physically, he's just developed phenomenally well, it must be said. On the left wing, Cisse is the advanced playmaker. Henri Blaise is the inverted winger on the right-hand side. He is our highest average rated player for the season. He is our leading assist maker as well. I believe he's got 20 assists in 40 appearances, which is very impressive. Hopefully he can chip in with a couple of assists today. 14 in the Premier Division, only 1 in the FA Cup, but he's only made 1 appearance, which makes a lot of sense with our rotation policy. Martinez will play as the deep-lying forward. Olsen, our leading scorer for the season, will lead the line as the advanced forward up top. Chelsea playing their 4-4-2, managed by Thomas Lemar still. They rotate their front two every game, it feels like. They've got an incredibly strong forward line. They've got Fleshman, who's not in the squad at all. They've got Christian Furr, who's not in the squad at all, who have played against a variety of times. They did the damage for them in the Carabao Cup. Instead, they've rotated a little bit. Joseph Heinen's going to start. 30-year-old number 10 can also play up front. He was previously at Dortmund. He was a wonder kid back in the day, like a proper everybody in the world wanted him wonder kid. Dortmund held on to him for a while, but then he eventually moved to Chelsea. He's been there for a few seasons, but we haven't played against him all that much. 3.5 star current and potential ability for the 30-year-old German. He plays alongside Francesco Paolucci, who we've played against a variety of times, now 30 years of age for the Italian forward. 4.5 star current and potential ability. Again, similarly, not playing all that much this season. Probably a victim of their rotation policy, trying to get all those forwards that they've got. They've got a lot of wide players and advanced forwards, guys that can play both those positions. But because they've moved away from that 4-2-3-1 with the new manager, it's seemingly more difficult for them to actually get everybody out on the park. That looks like they are rotating a little bit as well. They haven't got Campbell playing at the back here. He'd usually be playing as a right back, one of the best right backs in world football. But Demiroz is in there, Indicachea, 2 excellent midfield options. We'll see how Gio and Kovacic go on the wide opportunities. But these two lineups match up very evenly against each other. We will have to be at our best and win our one-on-one battles to try and get a good result. Passionately, we are going to say media have given a lot of credit lately. Go out there and put on a worthy display. And really, we just want to get a good result. That's all we're after. Let's get through to this final, boys. Let's try and keep a historic treble on the cards, and let's finish the season and the week as strong as humanly possible. Let's jump into kickoff. We are going to keep one eye on the other result as well to see who potentially we might come up against in the final. First highlight of the match here, across to Santana from Henri at the edge of the area. Goes for a strike that wasn't quite there, and it's 2v2 here at the back. So Heinen's taken a touch around Esteban and gotten goal side. He's got a lot of work to do still, but he finds the finish. We said at the start of the game, he hasn't played that much football, but he's going to be pretty happy with that one. And we're going to have to be wary at these set-piece scenarios when we've got the ball, because we've just left ourselves 2v2 at the back, and it's that one touch around Esteban that has really taken everyone out of it. No one can get goal side in time. And Mancini maybe could have come out a little bit more. He was inside his 6-yard box by the time the finish came through. Heinen just absolutely leathering it back across him for 1-goal advantage to Chelsea. Will that change their mentality as the game continues? They have got a throw in here into Kachea. Ball across to Paolucci, who falls back stick. Thankfully, Mancini with the save. 2-0 down inside 10 minutes would have been disastrous. But we were going to have a throw in there, but for whatever reason, it skipped past it. I'm going to throw a demand more shout out very early in this one, because there's a couple of anxious people out there. We're going to try and get them back to focused. Pooch with the ball into Santana. Now to Cisse. Good little pocket of space. Plays it across to Henri. Switch it out to the right if he can. So he goes for Martinez in behind, who finds a goal, and it's an excellent finish. I thought he was maybe going to take the first touch, but he just took another little one, took him to a wide angle. Didn't have much of a wiggle room or an angle to work with to try and slide that one back across, but we get an equalising goal with effectively our first highlight in the game. Henri drives into this space and everyone drops off him. Then he hangs it over the top. Martinez with a great touch inside the fullback. And the keeper just kind of hovered in midair there. There was talk with FM20 with a live stream that took place earlier today that, potentially there were going to be some updated keeper animations to resolve stuff like that. But I'm going to take the goal. We're not going to look that in the mouth. Ball out here to Blaze is excellent. He's taken a wonderful touch around the fullback. Now he's got to try and beat the centre-back. Squares it up to Olsen. It falls to Blaze again. Is he onside though? Yes, it looks like the linesman is running back. 15th goal of the season for Henri Blaze. Wonderful stuff from him. I can't tell if this is an initial shot from him, so we'll see it in 3 dimensions. Lovely touch around the fullback on the halfway line. Waits for the defender to commit. It actually hits the defender, falls to Olsen. And then Lucas Raphael with a great save, but Blaze right there to slide that home on his wrong foot for his 15th of the year. And we've turned it around pretty quickly, which is good. We've gotten straight back into the game. And we've got a corner here. Blaze to take. Headed away by Sgovio. Now Gannon tries to flick it on. Carlos Andre will recover possession for us. Switch out to the left is Paul. Gio's going to get the chance to come forward here for Chelsea. Don't both go to the ball, lads. Just one of you close it down. And just stand him up. Gio cuts inside and gets a strike away. Mancini thankfully equal to it. Straight down the middle, no, not towards either corner. Lucas Raphael, long ball forward. It's knocked down in midfield. Henri was there, but Gio's going to get possession again. Into Kachea. Back to Demiroz, who is their quarterback. Finds Paolucci in behind. Cut back. Carlos Andre heads away. Cisse with a wild clearance. Gannon's going to get a chance to put it back in. He goes back post and it's headed home by Gio, but he's going to be ruled out for offside. What's interesting about that, if he had let that run, would Paolucci have been offside? But I guess maybe that's an attempt at playing the ball, which wouldn't have been entirely legal within the rules of the game. Wide free kick here before we use the demand more shout. It's a poor ball in, it must be said. Heinen's going to come flying forward for Chelsea. Just stand him up, boys. Don't do anything silly. Out wide left now to Kovacic. Carlos Andre sticks with him very well and finds Cisse. Ball over the top for Olsen, who's peeled off the shoulder and got goal side. Can he find the finish? He's just slid the shot beyond the far post. And that would have been huge to get a 2-goal advantage going into half-time. Long ball forward here is going to get recovered by Carlos Andre. Santana looks for Martinez over the top. There was 2 defenders there covering him excellently. And now the ball straight back over the top for Paolucci. Thankfully, his touch drags him wide. Kovacic with the rebound though. It's tracked by Cisse, cut back towards Heinen. Clearance by Carlos Andre. Long ball forward again. We're getting a little bit too direct here and not relieving the pressure well enough. Bell to Demiroz. Back to Bell again. Blaze right there with him. Clearance is poor. Santana's going to put it over the shoulder for Martinez to chase. Wide left area, and it's not a bad effort. Lucas Raphael, though, with a good save, forces it over for the crossbar. Or sorry, not for the crossbar, over the crossbar for a corner. Cisse to take now towards near post. Santana could go reverse pass to Cisse again. Can he get a ball back in the box? He's actually brought back for offside, which is disappointing. We were in a good position there. We're going to hit demand more. Just as we've hit demand more, Esteban's picked up an injury. Thankfully, Gazmi is on the bench. We're going to flip over he and the Pooch's roles. The Pooch will move to the covering defender. Gazmi will play as the ball-playing defender on defend. And we're going to assertively say, I've got faith in you. Get out there and make a difference. Not ideal to be making a sub that early in the game. 3 minutes of additional time to be added on at the end of the first half, which we're through now. So as halftime is called, 19 shots, 8 on target, 52% possession for the Isle of Man. 11 shots, 5 on target, 48% possession for Chelsea. It's been a very open game. Both sides have had chances. But after falling behind to the early goal, it really felt like, we're going to lose this 5-0. But we've come back. We're 2-1 up at half-time. I think we're going to keep our attacking structure going, because I think we really need to go and get more goals. I feel like they could score at any moment, so we don't want to go back to positive and invite too much pressure. We want to keep trying to get goals. Assertively, I'm going to say happy with your performance so far. Keep it up, and most have responded positively. Halftime ratings, not too many to be worried about. There's a 6.6 out there for Cisse. We know he's a little bit underdone in terms of condition. We might ask him to get through 15 more minutes and bring on Paul Harold to try and stretch a tied defence as Chelsea look to go after a winning goal. You can see their defence isn't playing particularly well. I think our wingers are getting the better of their fullbacks. Set piece here though, Heinen goes short to Scovio, who's in a weird position for a central defender. Good backstick ball towards Kovacic. Mancini's dropped it, and of course, Mancini has been excellent for us over a variety of seasons. This isn't a criticism, but of course, in an FA Cup semi-final, a huge game against huge opposition, it's the one time he drops an absolute clanger. Could he not have done this when we were like 4-0 up against like West Ham or something like that? It's header in from Kovacic, and Mancini just drops it and then just stares at it for a little bit. Gio, the first one to it. So they've restored parity, 2-2, and the twists and turns in this fixture continue. Both sides now having come back from losing positions. Max also not playing particularly well. Balday's there and Cisse's there as well. We're going to bring on Harold and switch him to an inverted winger on support. It's risky to use all three of our subs with 30 minutes remaining, but I think the fresh legs as Chelsea try and push to find a winner will help us quite a bit. We're also going to use Old Faithful, a get creative shout, and most seem inspired, which is great. Throw in here on the left-hand side, Carlos Andre finds Martinez, who beats the first man. Can he find the cutback? It's cut back to Balday. It's shot down there, and Henri rifles it back in. I thought we were about to lose the second chance at the ball. We got 2 strikes at it. I think the initial strike from Martinez was well saved. He does quite well to roll the defender in that wide area. Drags the centre back, goes past his challenge. Lucas Raphael pushes it back into a good area. Balday gets shut down, and I thought we weren't going to get there in time. But Henri, just as the keeper's getting back up, rifles that one back in for his 5th goal of the season. A huge, huge goal from, I think, arguably the best player we've had in the entirety of the series. Furkan Yilmaz thrown on the right-hand side here. If we make this 4-2, it gives us a comfort level. Henri, switch out towards Harold. Can he find the flick-on header? Back across to Martinez. Oh, reverse pass was there to give it back to Harold, 1v1. But it's come to Heinen. Switch out towards Guerra, who's been busy. Misbah will pick this back up for Chelsea. The clearance wasn't to anyone in particular. Bell to Indicachea. They're playing a little bit deeper now, a little bit more direct. Paolucci's got in goal side. Put it straight at Mancini. Gasmi with an excellent recovery challenge. Plays to Henri. Now to Blaze. Are we going to go the other way? Long ball forward to Balday. He doesn't let it run. Tries to flick on header, but there was no one there in support. Indicachea. Switch out to the left-hand side. Kovacic looks for Heinen on the right. Going to try and get rid of that. It's closed down well, but only out for the corner as things stand. Actually, it goes out for the goal kick in the end. It must have come off him. Indicachea with the corner here for Chelsea. Backstick ball. Demiroz with a snapshot from the rebound and thankfully just beyond the far post. Blaze, wide free kick. Backstick runners are there. Martinez has hit the crossbar and then Indicachea gets it away. Heinen's gotten there first as well. 1v1 with Yilmaz. He's dragged 2 defenders across. Carlos Andre does very well actually to get that one out for the throw-in and just resolve the pressure a little bit. We're into the last 10 minutes. We're going to hit demand more. Everyone seems focused, which is good. No subs left up our sleeve. Indicachea with the corner, headed away by the pooch. Balday, edge of the area, clearance is poor. He had bodies around him. Indicachea is going to get a chance to put the ball back in. Played to Scovio, who looks for Paolucci over the top. Mancini comes out off his line authoritatively and claims. Long ball forward here to Harold. We might have the chance here on the overlap on the left-hand side. Carlos Andre getting forward now. Now reverse pass to Harold and the strike back across goal. Paul Harold with a phenomenal finish. And surely, in the 86th minute, 2 goals up, that seals the tie and books our place in the final. You can see Chelsea leaving 3 players forward here. They're not looking to get anybody else dropping back. And you can see their midfield well behind Paul Harold goal side. And we had 3 guys in the box there. And Harold with an excellent finish off the bench to secure, hopefully, fingers and toes crossed, a place in the final. 4 additional minutes to be added on. We're through most of that time now, and the referee called full time. It's a fantastic performance from the boys. 31 shots, 14 on target, 54% possession for the Isle of Man. 17 shots, 9 on target, 46% possession for Chelsea. 4-2 victors in the end. Passionately, we are going to say, you've dreamt of playing in the final, and now you're going to be doing it. So we know that we're going to have an opportunity on Friday in the last game of the series to win at least 1 trophy with an FA Cup final appearance. Hopefully, we can carry on and get a good result in that final as well. Arnaud Henri gets a Man of the Match award, a 9.0 match rating, and a goal to his name. We book a place at Wembley. Who are we going to play against? I didn't even look at who the other team was that got through. Tottenham have gone through on penalties, so we're not going to play Man City again before the end of this season. Esteban's going to be out 3 to 4 weeks. Not an ideal time to lose him, but it's all right. Gasmi's there and available. We're going to give Henri a bit of praise as well. He was fantastic in the last game. Goal and an assist from DLP. That's the most you could possibly hope for. Does mean we're going to have to rotate just a little bit. I'm thinking we're going to give Gasmi a start. I'm going to bring Warburton onto the bench. And then I think maybe we'll give Cisse a bit of a spell as well. Maybe Harold comes in and starts from the next match, just because I'm starting to get a little bit concerned about the overall fitness of the group itself. Cisse can maybe go on the bench. We'll see if Schaefer actually comes good. You know what? Schaefer can go on the bench instead. We'll give Cisse a spell entirely, and I might even give him an additional couple of days rest. Let's try and get him fit for the Champions League tie in a couple of games. Everyone else that's going to start in the next match, we're going to give them 1 day's rest to just hopefully get their fitness up above 90% condition. But magic of editing, we're going to jump forward to the lineups against Wolves now. Alright, jumping forward a couple of days, I brought Cisse back into the starting lineup, basically because he's fit. He's at 95% conditioning. Otherwise, it is unchanged. We're not really going to risk anything. We're going to keep the same side fit and ready to go out there for the second leg. I've let Gasmi go as the covering defender and left Pooch at the defending one. We're just going to see how that goes. I'm just curious as to what that lineup could potentially look like. That's really the only switch from the previous game. Wolves are playing kind of like a deep arrowhead sort of formation. It's a very deep 3-4-2-1 with wingbacks and defensive midfielders. You could almost call it like a 5-4-1. I guess if you look at that block, the real sadistic people out there might even call it like a 7-3, 7-2-1 maybe. But it's an interesting shape. It's not one that I've seen all that often. Got to give them credit for not just doing the generic 4-2-3-1 that everybody else goes with. I don't know how our formation style is going to line up against this, but Wolves haven't pulled up any stumps so far this season. Passionately, I'm going to say Media have given a lot of credit lately. Actually, as I say that, they did beat Manchester City. They were the team that beat Man City 1-0 against the odds that helped us go back top of the Premier Division. So it could be an interesting game. We're going to keep an eye on City's results as well. Cisse, ball back stick, finds Martinez, and we're not going to have the same problems not scoring against that defence. And set pieces might be the way for us to try and get back above them there. The good thing is, you can see we've left our 2 fullbacks back and they've only got 1 forward there. So there's no real risk of the counter from these set pieces that we were probably experiencing against Chelsea. But Martinez, he's a big boy. You can see him in amongst those defenders, just towering above them. Nods home, far post, clips the underside of the crossbar on the way through. Always makes it look great. And inside 10 minutes, we take a 1-goal lead, which is fantastic. Set piece again here, Blaze towards back stick. Gasmi's gone down in the area, and it looks like the ref's going to go have a look at VAR and check it out. We've gotten the penalty, so Martinez is going to have a chance here to make it a double inside 20 minutes. For a 4th throw striker, he's coming up big in some huge games, and he sends the keeper. He doesn't send the keeper any direction. The keeper stood entirely still, so who knows what I'm talking about. But he goes to the right-hand side of the keeper. Keeper doesn't go the right way. And we take a 2-goal advantage inside 20 minutes, which is absolutely fantastic. Throw in, left-hand side, Carlos Andre to take. He goes long, but it's cleared away by the Wolves' defence. They are leaving one man in their own half. Everybody else is back at the edge of the 18-yard box. Yilmaz here, cut back for Blaze. Good ball towards back stick. It's actually worked its way in. It's curled pretty viciously, it must be said. He scored a total fluke, apparently, but his 2nd goal of the episode and 16th of the season. Wonderful stuff from him. We'll check this out in 3 dimensions. I think this was looking to be like a whipped ball towards back stick on his left foot, but it's got enough curl on it that it actually just wiggles its way into the far corner, which is an interesting one to see. There weren't really any players in the area that potentially the keeper might have been distracted by, so interesting goal, but I'm going to take it. 3-0 advantage, that's fantastic for us. Tottenham are currently 2-1 up against Chelsea, which is big in this battle for those top 4 spots. Pooch has managed to knock one home for us, so we're 4-0 up inside 32 minutes. 5th goal of the season for Pooch. And I'm guessing pretty much all of them are backstick headers from Henri Blaze balls into the box. Wonderful whip ball again. His set-piece delivery is phenomenal. And Reed might have got a chunk on it. I couldn't quite tell there if it hit the keeper or if it hit the inside of the upright. But a fantastic goal nonetheless. Shank with the ball in, header straight out Woodley. That was the first real chance we've seen from Wolves coming from the set-piece. Mancini's going to throw this forward for Olsen as well. Maybe the counter-attack as they're trying to get back into shape. Ball across here to Henri, out now to Blaze, who's got Yilmaz there in support, goes towards Santana in midfield, and their flick-on header from the late arriving midfielder just over the crossbar. Not his strength, but yeah, Tottenham up 2-1 against Chelsea in a big fixture. City up 2-1 against Southampton. Southampton have scored. Maybe if they can get a second, that would be fantastic for us. Highlight here though, ball with Reed, the Wolves custodian. He's got a fair few bodies in the middle. Instead he goes long. Pooch is going to get there first. Yilmaz across to Santana. Can he work the ball side to side? He's looking like he wants to go on a run. Cisse not coming to help him. Switch out towards Blaze, who's gotten the better of his man every time he's gone forward. He plays it short to Olsen. Now to Yilmaz on the overlap. Cut back to Blaze, and he's managed to smash that one back in. This is probably going to be one of those wild acrobatic finishes where he's moving his legs well before the ball lands at his feet. But 17th goal of the season for him, a double on the day. Good play here from Olsen. Does well just to play it across to Blaze. Blaze stretches the defence, goes out to Yilmaz. 2 defenders go across, which just buys Yilmaz that pocket of space, and it is. It's one of those weird ones where it's flicking up, and he's already swinging his leg before the defenders even pass it to him. And thankfully, it finds the back of the net for his second of the game and our 5th of the first half. We're on track for 10 here, boys. Can we get it? 17 shots, 10 on target, 50% possession at half-time. 2 shots, 2 on target, 50% of the ball for Wolves. We are just going to say, very happy the way things are going, lads. Keep it up. If you had offered me 5-0 before the game, I'd have taken it. Looking at other results, City have taken a 3-1 lead now early on in the second half, so it looks like they're probably going to get 3 points. So critical, not just that we get 3 points of our own, but also boost our goal difference and take away that advantage if it is going to be level on points at the end of the season. Manchester United, I think Antonio Conte is about to get sacked. I'm pretty sure them losing 4-0 to Bournemouth and currently sitting in 6th spot in the division is going to see him get his marching orders. Maybe they can get a better manager in. Maybe that manager can take points off Man City. A whole bunch of different moving pieces as far as the finale to the league season is concerned. We're going to hit pause. Pooch has got a bit of a knock, so we're going to bring on Warburton, and I might switch Warburton and Gazmi just to get the lefty on the left and the right-footed player on the right. Yilmaz has got a yellow card. I'm not going to worry too much about that. We're just going to look at condition here, I think. Yilmaz is also low on condition, but Henri down towards 77% conditioning. We're going to bring on Taylor for him. Cisse down at 77%. We'll bring on Paul Harold because we were kind of umming and ahhing about how we were going to play in this match, and hopefully that just helps them get a little bit fitter for more important matches coming up. Big semi-final in tomorrow's episode in the Champions League against Bayern Munich. Switch out here to Yilmaz, finds Carlos Andre. Ball back stick to Blaze, and Henri Blaze has made it a hat-trick. An absolutely fantastic effort from him. Maybe the other day we wore the suit in the Carabao Cup final and it was unlucky for us. Maybe this shirt is lucky and we're going to get 6-point episodes or 2-win episodes for the rest of the week. Good switch out here to Carlos Andre, who gets through an amazing amount of running down that left-hand side. And Blaze maybe fouls the defender. It must be said, he slides through the back of him. It's something that you don't really see in a video game. 10 minutes remain, we're just going to use a demand washout. I would have taken 5-0, 6-0 if we could get it. The ball back stick here. We've managed to turn another one home. I think this is going to get ruled out though. Martinez got the last touch on it. And I'll tell you what, it's very hard done by because I think Paul Harold's header would have gone in had it not hit Martinez. But I'm not going to complain. Difference between 6 and 7 isn't that much. But City have jumped up to 6-2, so our boost to our goal difference isn't going to be as big as I thought it was. 26 shots, 15 on target, 52% possession for the Isle of Man. 4 shots, 4 on target, 48% for Wolves. 6-0 victors on the day. Henri Blaze with the hat-trick, the big marquee signing from the off-season. Passionately, we're going to say very happy with the result and the way you played, and everyone's responded fantastically well, which is absolutely perfect. Now, what does that do to the league table itself? We should stay top, but I want to see where the points and goal differences are currently sitting. So Manchester United stay in 6th spot, but they are 2 games ahead of Tottenham, who are in 7th. Their 2 games on hand could potentially see them jump into the top 4 positions as well at the expense of Brighton, which would push United even further down. Chelsea have a game in hand on everybody else. We have a game in hand on most of the sides that have played 34. But 73 points and now 52 goal difference. We are 1 goal difference behind Manchester City, which could be critical in the race home. They eventually ran out 6-2 winners, smacking some goals in there in the second half. Pooch's knock isn't too bad. Bruised thigh, 5 to 8 days. That's not terrible. He'll miss the game against Fulham. Hopefully he'll be back in time for the match against Bayern Munich, which will be the focus of tomorrow's episode. We qualify for the Europa League. Blaze gets a hat-trick and an assist. We're going to give him a bit of praise as well, which is great. He's in superb morale, which is fantastic to see. Schalke Boss was there watching Jose Santana, which will be an interesting one to see if they make a bid. Not that it matters. The series is coming to an end anyway, so I don't think we're going to accept any outbound bids. But the squad's not looking too bad. We're going to clear this out. We might have a look at rotating a little bit for the next fixture at Fulham. We're, of course, going to play that one off screen in between our 2 episodes. So let's use this rest day. Let's try and get everyone back up towards, 95 to 100% conditioning if we can. But tomorrow's episode, the focus of that one is going to be Bayern Munich in the Champions League semi-final. We've booked 1 cup final today in the FA Cup. Can we make it 2 tomorrow with the Champions League final appearance? We have, I think, for the first time in any of our knockout matches, have the away leg up front. So we could do things a little bit differently in terms of how we approach those fixtures, which would be fantastic to see. You guys will have to tune in to see how we get on. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching and supporting the series and the channel. If you want to go that little bit extra, do that little bit extra for the save, for the series, continue our growth. You can drop a like on this video. Helps us get higher on YouTube search results when people look for Football Manager content, and a lot of people are going to be looking for FM21 content lately. So if you can, that would be very much appreciated. You can also subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on all of our future videos as they continue to release right up until the FM21 beta and all the way through with our St. Pauli save, which we announced last weekend. But more than anything, guys, I just appreciate you watching. That's the part that means most to me. I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.